In their nonfiction book, This Was Our Valley, 1989, Canadian authors Shirlee Matheson and Earl Pollon delve into the environmental and social consequences brought about by the W.A.C. Bennett Dam, a hydroelectric project situated on the Peace River in British Columbia, Canada. A subsequent reissue in 2003 explores the impact of the Peace Canyon, a second dam, constructed on the same river. The 2019 reissue focuses on the ongoing debate surrounding the Site C Dam, which, at the time of the book's publication, was in its early stages of development and had become a contentious issue in British Columbia's political landscape. The original 1989 edition of the book was awarded the Alberta Culture Nonfiction Prize. W.A.C. Bennett, who served as British Columbia's premier from 1952 to 1972, was a staunch advocate of high modernism, a philosophy that placed unwavering faith in the potential of science and technology to reshape the natural world for the betterment of humanity. The concept of the W.A.C. Bennett hydroelectric dam stemmed from this ideology. Bennett envisioned harnessing the power of the Peace and Columbia rivers to generate energy and foster economic prosperity within British Columbia, rather than benefiting the federal Canadian government. Despite this intention, Bennett secured permission from the Canadian government to sell the electricity produced by the future dam to the United States for $275 million over the course of 30 years. To finance the ambitious project, Bennett nationalized British Columbia's electric utilities, subsequently incorporating them into BC Hydro, which would eventually become the largest electricity provider in the province. Construction of the dam commenced in 1961, involving the extensive clearance of hundreds of thousands of acres of forested land. When the dam was completed and the reservoir filled, the trunks of the felled trees resurfaced, leaving a visible testament to the scale of the undertaking. In the process of constructing the dam, approximately 42 million cubic meters of rock and soil were excavated from a nearby glacial moraine. The workforce involved in the construction comprised workers from over 20 different unions, representing various countries such as the United States and Japan. The nature of the construction work was often cramped and confined, forcing workers to inhale toxic exhaust fumes within tight spaces. The workers faced risks of cave-ins, resulting in the tragic loss of 16 lives during the construction phase. Unfortunately, the workers had limited means to improve their working conditions as their contracts prevented them from engaging in strikes or lockouts against BC Hydro. The project was completed on schedule in 1967, with the dam commencing power generation in 1968. While business leaders hailed it as a success, the construction of the dam had significant social and environmental repercussions. The damming of the Peace River had devastating consequences for the Tsai-Keh-Dene First Nations tribe, who resided in the affected area. Many of the tribe's crucial food sources, including various fish species, mountain caribou, and muskrats, either disappeared locally or migrated away from the region. Recognizing the uninhabitable conditions the project created, the government of British Columbia purchased the land for $1.7 million and relocated the affected indigenous communities. Although new reservations were established for some individuals, their lives were upended, leading to a threefold increase in social assistance payments to First Nations individuals in British Columbia between 1965 and 1970. Furthermore, the displacement caused by the dam had a significant impact on white homestead farmers in the area. Many of these farmers were forced off their land and received meager compensation for their properties. Shockingly, BC Hydro offered a mere $28 to one farmer in exchange for 1,000 acres of farmland. The upstream region from the dam also suffered severe environmental consequences, exacerbating the overall impact of the project. The creation of the reservoir resulting from the dam led to the submersion and loss of a significant amount of wildlife. Numerous fish species, including mountain whitefish, rainbow trout, and Arctic grayling, experienced drastic declines in their populations. The remaining fish showed alarmingly high levels of mercury contamination. In 1980, BC Hydro completed the construction of Peace Canyon, a second dam located 14 miles downstream from the W.A.C. Bennett Dam. Additionally, in April 2010, preliminary plans for another dam called Site C were approved by the company. As BC Hydro secured the necessary approvals from regulatory bodies, concerns were raised by the David Suzuki Foundation, estimating that the ecological values at risk due to the Site C dam amounted to approximately $8.6 billion, just slightly exceeding the estimated cost of $8 billion for constructing the dam. The construction of the dam also sparked intense debate among the local First Nations communities. The flooding of culturally and historically significant sacred sites, as well as the potential toxicity of the local fish species due to mercury contamination, were primary concerns. The tribes depended on the local watershed and its diverse wildlife, particularly moose, for their livelihood and sustenance. Despite these concerns, in 2016, the Canadian federal government declared that previously reviewed and approved projects would not be revisited. British Columbia Premier John Horgan acknowledged that while Site C was not the preferred or initially favored project, it was deemed necessary to see its completion. This was Our Valley, a thought-provoking exploration of the social and environmental consequences of large-scale engineering endeavors, emphasizes the importance of finding a balance between economic interests and ecological considerations. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.